Feast your eyes. It's the first broadcast in Trevian Hockey Network history as we bring you in live here from the home of the Lake Forest College Foresters, and also for high school hockey where the Scouts of Lake Forest play, as the Scouts and Trevians meet at the JV level for the first time this season here in the SHL. Welcome into the network alongside Frank Zarowski. My name is Luke Jordan. Happy to have you here as always, and in the future, as we always will be. Just absolutely stoked for what's going to be going on within this entire New Trier program and the SHL this season.
I'm so excited for it, Luke. New Trier, obviously, by far the winningest and the best program high school-wise in the state. Three-time defending state champions. It's only fitting they have a broadcast up to snuff with their on-ice play.
Well said. And these two teams currently at the top of the JV standings in the SHL. New Trier 3-0 alongside Lake Forest. Something's got to give in this one.
You know, I'd like to see the youth movement for both of these teams blossom in this contest, Luke. You know, obviously both of these teams having strong pipelines. New Trier, obviously, with their 4 varsity teams, and Lake Forest with a more streamlined varsity program with their teams. So it will be interesting to see who steps up to the plate on the youth movement. It wouldn't shock me if, you know, injuries come about for both of these squads. Late in the year, they call someone up from these guys. So this is almost like a preseason game at an NHL level, so to speak. You're putting on your show for the higher-ups.
Yeah, well said. And we are just about ready. Here at the JV level, it's 3 15-minute periods, as Lake Forest will be sporting the Scout White and New Trier in the Navy. Starting goaltenders on the Scouts end is number 94, who wears an A on his jersey, Patrick O'Neill, on the right side, and on the left, number 32, Jacob Myers. And quickly, it's the Trevians on a push as a backhanded try was denied, Luke Maynard.
That's the kind of things you expect from New Trier, Luke, coming right out of the gates, pressing the attack.
There's George Altunian. We'll see his older brother James later tonight. The varsity teams face off 8 p.m. right after this one here at the Alumni Memorial Fieldhouse. New Trier will repossess and backpedal in their own end.
And what's really unique about this New Trier style, Luke, you know, they play a Canadian style of offense, and that really confuses a lot of these SHL teams that are used to playing a more American style of hockey. So look for more of the stretch plays for New Trier to come into effect.
Thrown back by Wilson. And now Lee the other way. Neeson Lee turns on his forehand, plays it down as a backhand try from Serber, wouldn't go anywhere, and the other way come the Trevs. Dre McNerney tries one, and that is gobbled up by Patrick O'Neill. 13:26 to play in the early goings of the first period.
Yeah, just a kind of a feeling out process for these two top teams in their respective conferences, in their respective parts of the SHL conference. So look for more of a punch-counter-punch for this first period.
Two offenses that have been hot out of the gate. Lake Forest averaging 8.3 goals a game. New Trier still very solid with well over 4. Both these teams with 2 common opponents as well. We'll get to that in a moment. This one deflected on and taken by Burke Harris. Collision just below the blue line. It squeaks out to McNerney, who stretches it across ice. Dennis Wilson taking pressure down in the far side corner. And it's taken back by Serber and company. Another turnover there, turning over the blue line. Is New Trier with another dump, and this time they'll change. Serber on the near side. Now the Scouts will change.
And you see what New Trier is doing. They're changing to match the Scouts' changes, if that makes sense. It's, again, going back to that point I made earlier, Luke, punch, counter punch. Look to see these teams really feel each other out in this first period.
Another caused turnover by the Trevians there, dashing down the left side. Well-played defense by Luke South takes things away. Up to the point now, where Richter sends it back down. Altonian takes back for the Scouts. George Altonian, hard to stop here, dashing down the right side, still with it. Will try to sweep one inside the slot, a fire on, and a first test there. That was well handled by Jacob Myers.
And that's the kind of goal you see typically at the JV level early. You see a lot of these greasy goals in tight around the blue paint. So credit to Lake Forest for trying to apply that strategy with their young players.
Trenza. Lockhart's pass intended for Altonian, who's on the edge of a long shift here. As Lee chips back in. Shots on goal, 1 apiece so far. Heavy pressure, and the Scouts take it back. Wood walks into the slot, fires one over the crossbar.
Again, it's these young players, they're adjusting. A lot of them are freshmen, sophomores, and you know, they want to kind of understand the game at the Scholastic Hockey League level. So again, a lot of feeling out both internally and externally, Luke.
3 games to each side so far this season. New Trier's JV1 with wins against St. Viator and a 5-3. Glenbrook North 3-0, St. Ignatius 4-1, and Lake Forest, who also played St. Ignatius and St. Viator in their early schedule so far, winning by 4 against both of them, 6-2 and 7-3, alongside a 12-1 win recently, just 2 days ago on a Saturday night against Stevenson.
Stevenson had a lot of guys graduate and a lot of their guys move up to the varsity level, so it'll be interesting to see how they rebound throughout the course of this season, Luke.
On the bright side for Stevenson's varsity, they grabbed their first win of the season this past weekend, beating the Lake Forest Scouts 6-3.
And Stevenson, I'm not sure if you caught this game, Luke. A few weeks ago, Stevenson came very close against Glenbrook North. They were stretching the puck out well. Their power play looked excellent. Their passing was superb. So that's a team that I'd like to see heat up down the stretch.
Would not shock me. Getting a lot of games in early at both levels. Or should I say all 3?
Yeah.
Here with the SHL, AHL, and JV. Now down in the corner, Dean Huffman wears body contact and the puck squeaks loose. First of 2 here at Alumni Memorial Fieldhouse. Don't forget, 8 p.m. is New Trier green and Lake Forest gold. It will be a real test for the Scouts, in which their varsity team has already upset one of the top dogs in the state in St. Viator just a few weeks ago.
That'll be an interesting matchup. New Trier coming off one of the most dominant performances I've ever seen a few weeks ago against Glenbrook North. 10-5 win, 7 goals in the first period. Luke was able to catch that game, and it was a clinic for Green.
Yeah, no kidding. 7-1 after the first period. I remember seeing that box score, and I was like, my goodness. But we did get to talk to Adam Cheris on the Scholastic Sit Down podcast, and he was mentioning, you know what, for being up 7-1, that Glenbrook North team just kept fighting
and that's
fighting.
What I noticed, the physicality of North. Oh, great save there.
Stopped by Myers. We play on down below the goal line.
And North really plays a lot like the Philadelphia Flyers, the Broad Street Bullies, so to speak. They play an intense physical style. They're in your face, and they're never going to stop or shut up.
This one comes out into the slot, nearly onto the stick of Andrew Serber. Back into the neutral zone we go. It's Serber once again, plenty of touches on the puck already. Swipes this one on. That is sticked away by Myers. Goalies controlling the early play between 2 offensive forces here at the JV level.
And credit to New Trier's goaltender. He's had to make some great saves early. Not super flashy, but just kind of stay on his toes. They're testing him just enough where he's not going to get into kind of a dry spell with saves. You know, with goalies, they're very superstitious creatures of habit, and if they're not always doing something specifically on the save, they can let in an easy one. So credit for both of these goalies. You know, when the chances have come, they've been up to task.
Here's Altonian once again. One of the better chances of this game so far. Had one that just fluttered over the crossbar in the early minutes. He's up to the point. Strothman with a try, won't go.
And that's the kind of shots Lake Forest is going to be looking for against New Trier. Obviously, New Trier, a very skilled opponent. They're going to want to get shots through traffic and try and take away the goaltender's eyes, set the tone with the first goal if they are to score the first goal in this game.
Lee with a nice feed. Wood now trying to center. It falls through to the point where one is tried and patted aside by Myers.
I really like the New Trier trap in the middle between the circles. They're able to get sticks on the puck, disrupt the passing lanes of the Scouts. Credit where credit is due.
Altonian unintentional drop pass for Wood. They still could not hang on, and Drake McNerney now sends it to center ice. Worst shot, blockered away. O'Neill gets tested for the first time in a while.
And that's a good change. Not sure who just went to the bench for New Trier, but he understood he was at the end of a shift. It was a 3-on-2, not the best scoring chance. Just throw one on the net and get a fresh set of legs.
Altonian once again for Lake Forest, down below the Trevian cage. Lost his handle. Pressure now sliding from the wing. He does find the point, but a shot block in front by Charles Dion. Trevian's chip in once again.
And you see what Lake Forest is doing, even in the neutral zone. They're running a pinch on the far side of the rink. It's going to be interesting to see how heavy they target it.
Altonian tried one there, a centering feed that was cut off, but once again, another long shift for him and another handful of chances. You can see why he's out there so long.
And we're seeing a lot of missed passes early, Luke, just kind of feeling the other team's system out. Sloppy hockey in terms of passing on both sides right now.
No ice here. Trevians will wholesale change.
And that's a really smart clear by New Trier.
And now Rother over the stick of Serber. Another chance to recollect for Harrison Company. Chipped out of their own end. Zott takes back for the Scouts. He gets rid into the boards. Battle in neutral zone, won by the Scouts. Chipping it back towards the near side for Matthew Willey. With some help, able to get it out of the zone. Huffman gets a stick on it, but could not get across the blue.
Good play by 70 of New Trier, using his sword almost like a saber, if you will, whacking away 2 sticks at once.
Under 5 to go now in period number 1. Opening game on the Trevian Hockey Network, and the first of 2 today. Still no score at a point that, just looking at the stats, you'd think you'd see one yet by now, but great work by Jacob Myers and Patrick O'Neill to stand their ground. Well exampled there as we get our first whistle in a while.
And that's a good save by New Trier. I'm not sure if we have the replay up, and we do. Watch the movement of the puck. Off the boards to yourself, working 1-on-3, still manages to find a lane in which to shoot the puck.
Pass intended for Lockhart, cut off by the Trevs as they go chasing once again. Declan Murphy couldn't win it. Garrix cannot hold.
And you're seeing a lot of board passes, as that'll be an offside call. You're seeing a lot of board passes. You know, this is very early in the season, like you said, Luke. You're seeing a lot of these board passes because a lot of these kids are new to the New Trier program, freshmen and sophomores, so they're trying to understand the systems that Coach Cheris and company want to implement. And that goes for Lake Forest as well. Some of these younger players trying to learn the systems early on in the JV season because, yes, JV is about winning, but it's also about developing these kids for varsity.
Nelson fires one, got on. Looked like it might have deflected off of a Scout helmet there.
Yeah, looked like either a helmet or shoulder. Goaltender still made the save.
Shots on goal, 7-4. Lake Forest, the defending JV state champions. winning 2-0 last year against Providence Catholic. Here comes Lee with a nice move. Lee down below the goal line, gets one to deflect, up to the point. Whitley with the fire wide rebound, they score!
That's the stick-to-itness we talked about in the broadcast earlier, Luke. What excellent attention to detail for Lake Forest. I'm not sure if it was intentionally thrown off the boards wide for an indirect pass, but Lake Forest taking advantage of their environment, spatial awareness with their guys, and as we see on this replay here, goes off the boards and right onto the blade of a Lake Forest player.
You might be wondering, why aren't you showing the goal, Luke? Yeah, that's my fault. Got to manage the replays over here, and to be honest with you, I still got some rust to break off, so
yeah, it's
get a good look at the celly there.
It's early in the season for all of us.
That is very true.
Now you got to wonder how New Trier responds. They're being outshot 8-4 right now. What are you going to do to get yourself back in the game? It's maybe time for a hit, or maybe a little, I don't want to say extracurriculars, but getting under the opponent's skin a little bit.
.245 to play now in period number 1. One of these two teams will remain unbeaten in JV SHL play. And right now it's leaning the Scout way. Glad you're with us here on the Trevian Hockey Network. Gerard Boris, our producer. Frank Zarowski beside me. My name is Jordan. If you see a production mistake, it was probably on my end.
This is where some of these younger kids, you know, this is when push comes to shove, the rubber meets the road. Final 2 minutes of a period, what are you going to do? This is where a lot more mistakes can happen at any level of hockey, especially the JV level where these kids are still developing.
Here comes Altonian. Traces the top of the circle, swings it down. Offensive leg hit there by Dean Huffman. We'll take a retaliation and carry on.
And that's the kind of thing I was talking about. Get under the opponent's skin a little bit. Try and make this game chippy. Lake Forest has the edge, so it's about walking the thin line. If you're New Trier, what do? You want to give this goalie an extra snow shower. Try and get under Lake Forest's skin, make them make a mistake to give yourself an advantage. So it's about the mental head game right now, so to speak, especially in a one-goal game.
Up to the point, another try for Lake Forest. Serber had it, now Garrick's in the hell. Well done by New Trier to get it by Nelson. On the chase, Hudson Ginge.
And that's the kind of play that New Trier wants to focus on in the last minute or so. Chip and chase, control the zone, try to equalize this game at the end of the frame or beginning of the middle period.
Heavy hit there. Cole Nelson on the play.
Again, more of that physicality under the skin. The two guys are jawing at each other still as they make their way back to the benches.
And now Maynard. Odd man rush for New Trier. Ginge fires wide. As Lohmeyer takes back over. That's Finn Lohmeyer. You might recognize Dane Lohmeyer. Another name in the New Trier organization.
Good keep at the line by New Trier.
Turns into a shot on goal that is gobbled up by Patrick O'Neill, making his 5th save of the period.
And, you know, again, I want to go back to that previous thing. I don't know if we have a replay of it, but 54 for New Trier, the defenseman. He sees Lake Forest's guy coming, backs up, holds the puck on the blue line, not over, manages to get it over to his D partner to keep the cycle going.
Just under half a minute. New Trier trying to even things up before heading to a quick break. Richter from the point, deflected off of Zout's skate. Now down below the goal line. Lohmeyer to the point, back down. Finn Lohmeyer on her centering feed. High up in the air, batted down, and no troubles there for O'Neill thanks to his defense. Neeson Lee gets it out as the final seconds trim down. And Lake Forest will listen to that buzzer with a 1-0 lead through the first period. here at the Alumni Memorial Fieldhouse. What are your takeaways from that first period, Frank?
I like Lake Forest's physicality. You mentioned a few very hard, heavy hits in that contest. Lake Forest, if they want to keep their lead, you got to keep continuing to press the body. New Trier objectively is a more skill-based team than Lake Forest. Lake Forest likes to play more of the body. So what do? Do you try to meet your opponent and fight fire with fire, or do you lean into your strong suit, which is the physicality? I also like the strategic play of the New Trier defense. They've been excellent so far, specifically in the offensive zone. They've gotten the puck down to the slot. They've gotten it from circle to circle effectively. After some sloppy play early in the frame, it looks like both teams are kind of starting to get their legs under them a little bit, Luke.
Yeah, and shockingly, no penalties to open up this game. It's something you tend to see more often at the start of the season than in the end, in my opinion. And you don't want to give Lake Forest a power play opportunity.
No.
This team is averaging 2.7 power play goals a game.
That's insane, and it's great for Lake Forest. But I am also surprised, like you said, Luke, especially at the JV level where these guys are developing. They're going to make the silly mistakes that wouldn't fly at varsity in hopes to prepare them for that varsity team, whether it's gold at Lake Forest or one of the four varsity teams for New Trier, green, blue, white, or gray. So that's kind of surprised me. I think you may see a few in the second period now that they've gotten their own game down, so kind of looking inward, now looking outward, so to speak.
So Murphy Wood with the only goal in that first period. That is now his 12th point of the early season. Mind you, this is the 4th game for Lake Forest. Absolutely insane. 3rd goal of the season alongside 9 helpers. And that's what has the Scouts out in front. But still 30 minutes to play, and we start the next 15 here in the second period here on the Trevian Hockey Network. This New Trier right out of the gate, chipping one in deep. Zout takes things down low. Two Trevians pressuring in, and they pry it loose. Wood had his stick lifted. Now working with it. Orstein will try to center one once again. It comes out to Wood.
And why did that not work, Luke? Physicality. Physicality of Lake Forest.
And how about Wood on the other end? Nearly found his second. Now Wilson in a back and forth. Finds McNerney, who had his shot blocked. Will try again, and that's by the glove side and wide of O'Neill. Arudian in front. Chaotic last couple chances for both sides. Here's a look at that first chance.
And you see right towards the net. The second opportunity for New Trier. Why does that not work? Because you have the guy at the circle, outside of the circle, making sure that the shot does not go on net.
Serber cuts out to the left side. Across, and up to the point, Trothman. Back down low. McClellan bodied off. Trier and Burke take things back. Nice shot block turning into a chance here.
And watch what Lake Forest does. They like to pinch on that far side. Talked about it earlier. You usually will see 3 guys towards the far side.
Garrix goes and gets a change. Lake Forest changes 2 there. And now they forecheck on the Trevs. Trevs forced to just chip it out all the way down to O'Neill, who will hang on. Now a chance to look at that other chance for New Trier in that busy possession we saw over a minute ago.
And you see the physicality versus finesse. It's on full display there. New Trier's looking for their guy on the back door. Lake Forest will body him off, and so far, physicality is beating the finesse of New Trier right now. JV needs to answer.
Brought in now by Huffman. Dean Huffman with a lengthy shot. Easy save, but he chases down the rebound and just slots it wide. Good effort there. Solo mission for Dean Huffman. And still Lake Forest with it, as White will take it on a bounce pass at the point, fires one and scores! Looked like it would have been redirected on the way there. That seems to be the case by the Scout celebration as they double their lead.
And look at the deflection. This is what Lake Forest has done so well in this game. I'll see if we can get an eye on who may have gotten the last touch, and it looks like the man in front of the net, 37 for Lake Forest, gets the last touch on it. And credit where credit is due, they're obstructing the goaltender's view. There's nothing that New Trier can do on that other than provide better eyesight for their netminder.
Dean Huffman, the one who started that zone entry, nearly scored on his own rebound, gets paid for his hard work, and it's 2-0. Trevian's got to start searching for answers. Outshot by 3, trail by 2. And this one falls through!
Well, Luke, the baseball playoffs are around the corner, and that would be an error in baseball, and it's an error in hockey as well. The goalie tries to go for what was basically a fly ball, as we see partially the aftermath on the replay. Tries to go for a fly ball, bounces off the protective wrist guard of his glove, down between his wickets, and it's a 2-1 game off a fortuitous bounce, to say the very least.
It's Connor Feeney on the goal, and write your name down. You're the first goal in Trevian Hockey Network history for New Trier, and that's a way to score.
That is a way to score, and hey, hopefully the San Diego Padres will do a little of that against the Cubs coming up.
Thank goodness I get out of class 1:45 tomorrow. It's like perfect.
Oh, that's beautiful.
But Dad said that we'd get to go if there was a night game, and of course they slot one of the biggest market teams at 2:08. So wasn't too happy about that, but at least there's playoff baseball to begin with here in the city.
There's playoff baseball this year.
I got to be grateful.
And New Trier's got to be grateful that they're even in. Oh, boy.
Lee tried a toe drag.
New Trier's got to be grateful they're in this game right now. They were outshot, and this pop fly, if you want to call it, the pop fly flub has given them a lot of life.
Great stretch pass to Lee, who's got Wood on a 2-on-1. He'll snipe the top corner. And Lake Forest is up by 2 once again after the previous mishap.
And that is called resilience. That is resilience personified for Lake Forest. What do? They give up a flubby goal, a fluky bounce. Are you gonna sit in the corner and dwell on it? No, you're gonna dust your rear end off and go use your skill rather than physicality to score a goal on a 2-on-1 break.
That replay we just showed you on the last look there was in 25% speed, and that puck was still heat-seeking, even slowed down. Looked fast in that slow motion. A great shot by Neeson Lee. His older brother playing tonight right after this one as well. A couple of brotherly connections. See the last name Garrix down in the corner battling. His older brother played with the Scouts last year, graduated. He's getting bullied here by Burke, but it turns into a chance. Rothert.
Again, the physicality leading to offensive chances for Lake Forest.
We'll have to backtrack now out of the zone. And that's icing. Well, if you're just joining us here, the last 2 goals. It was New Trier in an awkward style. There's O'Neal with the glove. He just flat out misses it, and it bounces by and in. And then most recently, Neeson Lee with the strike. We won't get to that. Sorry about that. Now 10-10 to go. Lake Forest back in front by 2. Jack O'Malley taking pressure now, gets some help from Huffman, who scored the second goal for Lake Forest. Huffman will find White. Cycled down the wall, nobody present. Now pulled away by Kane Kraus. Kraus nudged off the puck there, deflects off his skates to the left side blue line, where Serber now tracks back. On his chase, Charles Dion. Dion gets a check on him.
And New Trier's starting to pick up their physicality, trying to fight that Lake Forest fire with fire. Be interesting to see how it goes.
See Dion and Serber with a couple of cross checks to each other there. On the other end, here's Huffman on the forehand. What a pad save.
Great kick pad save there, Luke. Using the point of his skate to get a little bit on the puck. That's all he needed to prevent it from going into the back of the net and making it a 3-goal advantage.
White takes back for Lake Forest, just barely on sides. O'Malley holds, backhands it into the slot, just to be beamed back out. 6 minutes into the second, a goal from each side already. Plenty of changes in the neutral zone as New Trier on the move once again.
Stretch pass, good read there by Lake Forest, but an even better recovery for New Trier. They saw that the pass was going to be intercepted. They recoiled and forced it out of the zone temporarily.
George Altunian tripped up, and we'll have the first power play of the game. And we said it in between periods. You don't want to give this team a power play, but it was inevitable at some point.
I believe the figure you quoted me on, Luke, was 2-point-something.
2.7 power play goals.
2.7 power play goals a game. This kill, the importance of this kill for JV New Trier cannot be overstated right now. If they go down 3 going into the back half of the second period, unless they're the Boston Bruins in 2013, they may not be able to pull that one out of their hat.
Will not be easy already with the limited time they have. 15-minute periods. Altunian for lead, slips through his stick. Or tries a clearing attempt. Might have gotten a piece of the official. Here's Wood, who scored the opening goal, down the wall for Serber. Serber staying with it for Lee as they keep working it around the perimeter of the offensive zone. Lee dances now, hit the crossbar. What a quick shot there.
Great shot. Watch 73 White on your screen for if you're a New Trier fan. He is their guy that they want to take the shot.
Looked like he was about to open up for a one-timer there, not yet. Lee takes it, he'll shoot over the crossbar. Not as much firepower on that shot as his previous two, one of them being a goal. But he'll take things again on the near side circle. Lee, backdoor, wide of the net.
Huge break for New Trier there that he missed the net. They had a 6x4 and he got none of it.
It's Wood again. Altunian. Another save. Myers, and New Trier finally can catch their breath.
Good clear for New Trier. Getting 3 of 4 guys changed.
This is the first time Lake Forest is in their own end on this power play, and it came a minute and 20 seconds in.
Not a bad way to do a power play.
No, not at all. That might not be ideal, but good recovery by Altunian. Finds fresh legs off the bench. Cole Nelson. Getting some reinforcement from Rother. Eventually finds the stick of George Altunian once again. Wing down the wall, but cut off. As Gingay gets it ahead, and now a shorthanded numbers opportunity as one gloved on net, and we will get a whistle.
That's a good heads-up play for New Trier, and I'll specifically explain why. They say timing is everything. Well, timing is everything. There's 3 seconds left on that power play. They know they're getting one of their guys out of the box in 3 seconds, so even if they get a save, they can work to set up a cycle. Great spatial and time awareness for New Trier.
Back to even strength. 3-1 Lake Forest, shots on goal 13-8. It's Dennis Wilson. Bodied off that puck. You were a hard hit from Bo Strothman. Another familiar last name. One from the point, no troubles there for Myers. Goes wide.
I like what New Trier is doing. Their swarm. Oh boy, that hit was high. I like what New Trier is doing. They're swarming the puck but they just got to be careful about leaving guys open on the point.
Ornstein goes down behind the net. Will play on. New Trier still without a power play up to this point. Ornstein slips it in front. A backhand try for Wilson. He couldn't connect.
Good stick lift by the Scouts. Had a wide open opportunity.
Altuni pumps the brakes. Takes some contact and couldn't get it ahead.
Strothman's going to be getting it from 11 New Trier for probably the rest of this game. It was a hit that Strothman delivered on 11 that, in my opinion, should have been called head contact. Referee decided not to let the guys play on, but sometimes the players will police themselves.
Easy save there for O'Neill.
And look what just happened there. New Trier, this is exactly what I was telling New Trier to do. New Trier, give the goalie an extra snow shower, make Lake Forest lose their cool, try to get yourself a power play. And we'll see on this replay, little snow shower, little pushing and, oh, you can't see it on this one, but there was a little pushing and shoving, and then they'll be offsetting minor penalties. So that's a good move by New Trier. They're trying to get under the skin of Lake Forest, causing them to make some more mistakes. You know, the shot differential's only 4 now, and New Trier trying to look for a spark to make this a 1-goal game again.
So we will remain 5-on-5. As most of these scenarios go. Server tussled down. Lake Forest just gets it out of the zone. And now Burke sends it far side.
And watch what Lake Forest did. You see the 3 guys near the bench. That's their pinch maneuver that they do to get possession. We've seen it all game, and that's what's fueling their offense. They run a 3-guy pinch along a bench or along a half wall, and it gets them the puck. And it's a very risky strategy because it leaves a few guys wide open, but they've been successful so far.
New Trier working behind the mind of head coach Brandon Warnes here on this JV1 team. Both teams undefeated up to this point, 3-0 in SHL play. Heavy fall there for New Trier. This one trickles on.
You're seeing New Trier just trying to break the puck out, trying to keep it simple on their breakouts, but good retrievals for Lake Forest, and New Trier has to find some kind of answer to try and get back in this game.
Altunian now chips in, chasing on Burke. Altunian's gonna win the puck at first. Has to have a second battle there down in the corner, and that's where the Trevians come away with numbers.
Good recovery for New Trier, just chipping it out. And they're gonna potentially get a change out of this. At least 1 or 2 guys will go to the bench. Fresh legs.
Dion, meanwhile, on the hash marks. Has space, now cuts inside. Charles Dion with the forehand try. Saved there by O'Neill. And out of the zone it goes with 3.5 to play in the second.
Good recovery for New Trier. They're throwing shots to the net. They're crashing it hard. We saw it after that whistle with the little extracurriculars. They're gonna crash the net more and hopefully try and get back in this game.
More battle ensues, taken back by Rother. Putting one well wide. O'Malley will regain, find Zout at the blue line. And that's well over as well. Hear fan yelling a little high. That's been the case on the last few.
Good poke check. And there'll be a power play for New Trier coming up right now. This is their chance to strike. It's an interference call. Good play by 48 in green and blue. As we'll see on this replay here, he's got a potential breakaway, splits the defense, and Lake Forest holds the guy up, and that's called, even if I don't score, I'm gonna create a scoring opportunity.
Not the easiest call to make in real time, but a penalty for sure, and now New Trier gets their first crack at it of the game.
This is a must score for New Trier. 2 goals going into the third is a lot more than 1.
O'Neill with a quick stop to open things up. think that we had this many angles? I didn't either. Shout out our guy, Gerard Boris, coming, setting everything up. Got here early.
The man with the man behind the curtain, the Wizard of Oz.
20 seconds into this opening power play for New Trier. Lake Forest had one chance earlier, did not score, but created some great chances.
And that's the physicality on display. 68 for Lake Forest, just destroyed a man for New Trier. Took the puck away from him and caused New Trier to have to tag up.
That was real close to offsides there.
Took the words right out of my mouth.
Bennett. Nope, scratch that. That's Luke Weiss. Now down low, Maynard. Play it back to the point, just about halfway through this power play. Weiss, across, beautiful pass, but a fanning on the shot.
That would have been a goal if he had gotten the air under it. He had the goaltender beat.
And now a one-timer loaded on and deflected wide. Recollected by Ginge. Another point fire. This time it's blocked by Wood. 40 to go. Altunian gets a burst out of the defensive zone. Has it sticked away. Good effort by Kyle Reed, and this is what it turns into. He gets one on, and the rebound blocked. Lee, with a much smaller frame, able to lay on a body check and just barely get it out.
Trier hasn't done a terrible job with this power play. They've gotten some good chances. They just haven't been able to get the second and third opportunities they would like. They're setting up the good first chance, but they're not able to convert when the puck's towards the front of the net. I said at the beginning of the broadcast, the greasy goals, especially at the JV level, are going to win you games.
Offsides blown there with 44.2 to go. And with that now, both sides 0 for 1 to start on the power play today. Mind you, their power play numbers are pretty good. New Trier's got 2 power play goals on the season. Lake Forest is averaging 2.7 a game. Wouldn't mind being either side, but you definitely prefer being Lake Forest.
Yeah.
Wilson now chases down below the net, and Lee curls.
Goalie's without his stick right now. Got to capitalize if you're New Trier.
They notice it, try to forecheck even harder, but it ends up back out in the neutral zone, and now O'Neill can hop on top of his stick and regain it. Burke. Taking a lap. Looks to curl it inside the slot. They'll try again, and it's scraped out of there. Final seconds. Lee will have 2 to shoot. He's got to fire it. Loses control, and that will do it. On 2 periods here, 3-1. We will have no ice make here at the JV level. Hop straight to the 3rd period. Another fresh 15 minutes, and a bit of a verbal altercation here. Looks to be Wilson of New Trier caught in a sea of white.
That doesn't surprise me. He was the one who received that high hit earlier in the game. Look for him to be the little ball of hate that gets New Trier back into this game.
They have controlled play pretty well as of recent. Lake Forest has been without a shot for nearly half a period. It was 13-9, just past.
It's going to be harder for New Trier to do it in the 3rd period. They're going to have to match the physicality of Lake Forest if they want to come back in this game. They're going to need a big body check or 2, galvanize your team, and more importantly, drive to the front of the net. That's what Lake Forest did. That's what caused their 2-goal lead. You saw it on the power play, and you saw it from a distance. You had a guy in front of the net blocking the goalie's eyes.
New Trier practically already back out there and ready to go. A little bit of a longer huddle here for the Scouts. And their mastermind, Griffin Slobodnik. Relative Mark Slobodnik, assistant coach as well. Steve Sorora is listed as an assistant coach, but he is not on the bench today, and I'd wonder why. It's almost like his varsity team going later after this period.
Exactly.
Hard to be in 2 places at once.
And Padre Pio did it. But he was a very exceptional man.
quite the clash between teams and head coaches right after this as well. Don't forget you can catch that on a different link, but still here on the Trevian Hockey Network. Not too difficult, just got to click out on our page and you'll see it there. Hard to miss when there's only 2 scheduled broadcasts so far in the resume.
Exactly. I like what New Trier is doing right out of the gate. They're trying to stretch it, get one on the board early.
Vin Lohmeyer on the centering attempt there. There's someone they're going to need to rely on here. He leads his team in goals and points with 4 and 5. Myers having some trouble in front. Rebound O'Malley! And it is still being fought for.
That's the game right there. Lake Forest scores. That's the game. Great job by the netminder, O'Malley.
Now riding the wall, Maynard. Taken back. In-game Maynard playing catch, now forking it down and around. And a centering attempt. Took a check. I think both skaters a little bit lost on where the puck really is there. And Rother takes an exit pass out of the zone. They'll try one that's blocked.
That's a good offensive chance by Lake Forest. He knows 4 guys are changing. He has nothing to lose by shooting that puck.
Willie well wide. And now Maynard the other way. New Trier will change all 5. The other 4 already out there and ready to go. Having to defend Altunian. Stops on a dime, turns up towards the wall. Willie stepping up with a nice pinch. Altunian looking to go between the legs there of the defender. Held in at the point by Zout. Rebound Wood off a blocked body. And another save made there by Jacob Myers.
Good spatial awareness by Myers. Sees that the puck is in no man's land in his blue paint. Simple whack of the blade will get it to out of harm's way.
Time only going to slim down here for New Trier. Takeaway by Garrix, feeds it inside.
Defense of New Trier looks good. They just need to forecheck more.
Serber settles it down. Backhands it across. Far side, White. Another wide attempt. Garrix well defended. Jonathan Ornstein creates that New Trier breakout. Pass through Wilson and all the way down, but they're saying it was tipped.
Good tip there by New Trier. Allows for your guys to get in and try and potentially set up a cycle.
That would have been a great chance for Wilson, following the body instead of the puck there. Easily could have curled around and turned that into a 2-on-1.
That's a good knuckle puck play.
He's got a chance to redeem himself here, and O'Neal gets out to make the stop.
Aggressive goaltending for O'Neal.
They'll try another pad save. Now a slap shot from the point wide by Kyle Reed. Still attacking are the Trevians. McNerney, while falling, sweeps it across.
May have gotten away with one. Lake Forest got a blade under his skate there.
Only have been 2 penalties called today. It's been a fairly clean game. You've seen a little bit of the mental game be played more than usual, but not anything past the drawn line.
No, and that works to New Trier's favor in trying to come back. They're going to try and get the goat of Lake Forest. Machuska, sorry. Taking the face off against Altunian, not for long. Rother will come in. There's Lake Forest thrown out, but they still win it.
Trouble with the puck here. Altunian can't clamp on top of it. Foot race the other direction.
This game's getting chippier.
As soon as we speak of it, right?
As soon as we speak about it being clean, it gets a little chippier.
Well, nothing out of hand yet.
Not yet.
Oh my. Well, that was clean, though. That's a good
clean.
hit.
That's a great hit. I was going to say, not out of hand, just a beautiful body check along the boards.
But it could ignite more.
Exactly.
From the point. Chance here to turnaround shot saved by O'Neill. On the effort, Declan Murphy. Altunian the other way. Taken back by Burke. Pounded down below the goal line, Rother. New Trier pulls ahead. Just about 10 minutes to go. Zout will keep this past the blue. Seems like the Trevians just need to change here.
Yeah, they're gassed right now. They're absolutely gassed, and I don't blame them. Physical hockey will tire a person out.
Speaking of physical, here's that hit.
That's a gorgeous hit. Little reverse hit, shades of Pavel Datsuk.
Face off to the right of Myers. Still froze right near the dot. Nobody able to pry it loose yet. Out come the Trevs. Gonna get some help from Maynard.
Good play by New Trier, not getting offside. Spatial recognition on where the puck is.
Top line back out there for the men in Navy. Maynard once again chips it down the wall. Lohmeyer will chase on Willie. Lohmeyer.
It's a big hit.
Lucky
Clean.
to keep his balance there, too.
No kidding. Clean hit, but very physical.
Lee turns on the Jets. Lee gets it off a bounce to the backhand. That was beautiful.
That was gorgeous. He dangles around the one man twice. He made one player on JV look silly twice. Once. He goes around him, causes the two guys to collide, and then dangles it around the goalie to put this game potentially out of reach at a 3-goal advantage for Lake Forest.
Well, we get the chance to take out a look from it from behind the net as well.
And the two New Trier players ran into each other. That's what caused the jailbreak, if you will.
And it looked like he was almost moving too fast for Myers there. Kind of froze up, didn't really know how to defend it.
Exactly.
So 4-1 Scouts. Offsides there.
And they want more.
Why not? Look from the main angle once again in full speed to show you how fast this guy was moving. Well, that wasn't exactly full speed. I have it at 100. I think Gerard might fire me after this one. When in doubt, blame it on the technology.
Exactly.
But then the blame goes on Gerard, so it's tough.
Exactly.
Oh, you're right, exactly. Nice move there. New Trier trying to find an answer of their own with Charles Dion making some sweet moves.
And you give them a lot of credit, you know. Obviously, it doesn't look good for New Trier right now, but again, as if I've said it once, I've said it a million times. JV is developing these kids for the varsity level. It's like the tier system at the NHL level, the ECHL to the American League to the NHL. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to have tough games like New Trier is having tonight. How do you develop from it?
Captain here by Reed. He'll whiz one wide. O'Malley curls out to the right. Jack O'Malley bodied off the puck, gets it back to center. Rother turns, fires, and that's saved. Some shoving after, nothing crazy.
No, and that's kind of what you expect. You know?
Shots on goal 18-14 now.
And I think, you know, for these two squads, you know, it's kind of like the game before the game, so to speak. You're playing the chess match, trying to understand your opponent mentally.
O'Malley steps up, makes a check. Getting physical here.
Oh, yeah.
Delayed penalty on Lake Forest as Myers goes crashing through the bench.
Exactly. I'd like to see what they're going to call this for. It looked pretty clean. Yeah, just I didn't see it. Didn't look terrible, but
No.
New Trier, they get a power play, and boy, do they need one ever right now. You know, this is where the rubber meets the road right now. New Trier's got to score, get back in this game.
Trevian's 0 for 1 on the power play. Their only goal coming off an awkward bounce off the glove of Patrick O'Neill. Other than that, he's been just about perfect, stopping the other 13.
And we'll give credit to Lake Forest. What they've done is, I don't want to say they've given their goaltender leeway to make those kind of mistakes with the way they've played. They've played excellent, they've played physical, they've played finesse style.
Ornstein tries from a distance, saved by O'Neill. Gets that one in the glove.
Now we're going to get some pushing and shoving.
See the approach there from O'Neill.
And you see just a little intrusion into the crease. They know what they're doing, and credit to New Trier. They're trying to get under the skin, maybe get a 5-on-3.
Lohmeyer tried one, got blocked there. Blocked again. Gives it off to Maynard this time. He'll fire, bad save, down to the near side.
Would have liked to see a pass there. Lake Forest was out of position by a lot.
Very widespread box here. 2 scouts pressuring here, down a man. Could be trouble, but they do get the pass out to Dean Huffman.
And that's that triangle pinch move that I've talked about on the broadcast, Luke. You get those guys down low on one side or the other of the rink, and look out, here we go on this.
Maynard can't hang on. Lohmeyer crashing to the net. And now he'll swoop in to recover it. Finn Lohmeyer centering, backhand try, slips wide.
Just wide of the blade of his teammate.
More physicality indeed. Maynard, meanwhile, back to Lohmeyer. Those two have been controlling the power play. And Garrix will clear with 10 to go. One last quick rush here, and here comes Burke.
Lake Forest is in the midst of a change.
Trevian's well aware of the time, gets one on. But no troubles once again for O'Neill, and we're back to even strength. New Trier 0 for 2. Off the wall, calling for it and getting it before it skipped over his stick was Wood. But still, Lake Forest leaves that penalty kill unscathed, still in front by 3.
Now you just gotta go nuts if you're New Trier. You gotta bring as much intensity, as much pressure as possible. Throw everything at the wall and hope it sticks.
Hard to take down Neeson Lee, but he goes to the ice on that play.
Good reverse hit for Lake Forest.
Serber on the play. And Lockhart chips in. Don't forget, 8 p.m. New Trier Lake Forest at the varsity level.
That's going to be fun.
Man, if the starters are starting, Logan Marsh and Maxwell Reed, that's going to be fun. A lot of fun.
Don't count out their backup goalie for New Trier, Asinion. Does a great job, a lot of mental training, He's committed to his craft, gotten to know him over the years, does a fantastic job in his game prep, whether he's in or not.
Seems like another 1-2 punch situation for New Trier.
Exactly.
Had Wyatt Schmidt and Mark Pauly last year. Pauly didn't play a ton, but when he played, his stats were spectacular.
This will take you back a few years, Logan. It was Preston Watt and Owen Reger, 2019 state championship team. Best teams have great goaltending, and New Trier has been no exception the past 3 years.
Before my time, my friend.
Exactly. Hey, something the viewers may appreciate.
Nice takeaway by Lee.
Good
Kicks
lead.
it to his stick, to the forehead, and he scores!
What an individual effort there.
There it is, the takeaway, and he just goes to work. Unbelievable.
And it's the heads-up play. It's a heads-up play to recognize New Trier's out of position. It's another heads-up play to take the puck away. It's a third heads-up play to do what he did with it on his stick, just putting home a buzz bomb.
The blink of an eye, Lake Forest, a goal away from a running clock.
Yeah,
Did not expect that today.
I didn't either.
We knew this Lake Forest JV team was incredible, but 4-goal lead incredible was not on the bingo card.
Took the words right out of my mouth, Luke. I give them a lot of credit. Their power play was good. Their defense was better.
Something about this JV team for Lake Forest. Defending state champions for a reason.
Exactly.
At the JV level. Out of play with 2:54 to go.
Oh, that's a bad hit. After the play, not sure who it was, but he just ran through a guy. Watch this. We'll get it on the replay. Goes to the wall, and he just bodies him from behind. That's a bad play for Lake Forest.
Little bit of palms up there from Cole Nelson. I definitely want to say there might be a little bit of intent there, but
I'd say more than a little on that one. The whistle's blown. You're up 4 goals. There's no need for that.
another hit there. That time's clean by Strothman. Keeps shoving on Wilson. And then he throws him down. Just really goes to show how Lake Forest has played this physical game.
Exactly. They've gotten under the skin of New Trier. They've crossed the line a few times, but they've been able to back it up on their penalty kill. That's what's been so impressive about Lake Forest. It's not just their physical play, but they're able to say, yeah, we may have crossed the line, but we trust our back check and we trust our penalty killers enough to take those liberties and give New Trier the opportunity to go a man up.
Cross for server with under 2 to go. Wood. Now from the point, Strothman, another save, Myers. Looking to work inside was McNerney. With now 90 to go. Ornstein taken away at the blue line. It's Wood up ahead. Scored the opening goal for Lake Forest, but nothing going there. Maynard down in the corner. Takes a check from Zhao. I guess it's never too early, and at this point with the game kind of having the bow tie on it, Frank, what are you thinking on potential stars of the game here?
I would say stars of the game, I like 73 for Lake Forest. I think their goaltender has to be in the conversation. Even with the flub of the save, you know what? He redeemed himself making a lot of net front scramble saves. wouldn't shock me, especially the way 73 Lake Forest has played physically and intensely.
And how about giving this guy the first? Oh my goodness, it's a hat trick. Neeson Lee, have yourself a day.
And 6-7 celebration, a 3-goal game, that just solidifies him as the first star of the game. If we could get that on the replay, watch this. Splits the defense, goes backhand into the net, and a little 6-7 celly, shades of Frank Nazar yesterday against Minnesota.
Had a hat trick of his own.
Exactly.
My goodness. Yeah, safe to say he's the first star.
Yep. Yeah.
Him. Murphy Wood, Patrick O'Neill, all with great games. And Lake Forest is going to run this clock out 6-1. Lee.
And he's going for a fourth.
Got to shoot. He scored!
Oh my goodness. That counts.
Sure does.
1.7 on the clock. That's a 4-goal game.
Neeson Lee will remember this game for a while.
Holy smokes.
He comes in and spoils the undefeated parade of the New Trier Trevians and keeps his teams going. They move to 4-0, New Trier to 3-1. What a game.
What an incredible performance.
Gotta give credit to the Scouts. Defending state champions here at the JV level with a statement here on home ice here at Alumni Memorial Fieldhouse. Now do not forget, we're just about 10-15 minutes from hopping back on the ice here. As they put that clock to 5 minutes for the warm-up of the next one. But for now, we look on this one here on the Trevian Hockey Network. If you're a New Trier fan, not what you want, but you got to give some credit to the talent that is being displayed by these Scouts.
And Lake Forest put on a show and showed why they're the defending state champions at the JV level. I think it sets the bar for what New Trier JV wants to accomplish this year. You know, if you're New Trier, I wouldn't burn this tape. I would save it. I'd put it in a plexiglass frame and watch it every day and see what you can gain from it. That's the trick here, Luke. What can you gain from it? You lost big. You had one guy with 4 goals who completely dominated. But now, how do you take this into the next game? You know, New Trier has a great young program. They've always had a great program. So where do you go from here? I think the answer lies with the forecheck. The forecheck was lacking for New Trier tonight. I think you want to forecheck harder, and you got to work on your tape-to-tape passes. Forechecking and pass accuracy would be my 2 takeaways this week in practice.
Frank Zarowski there. My name, Luke Jordan. Gerard Boris, our incredible producer. Go grab a snack. I know I will in the next 10 minutes, and we will see you back here on the Trevian Hockey Network for the upcoming varsity game between the Lake Forest Scouts and New Trier Trevians.